Another night alone. Again, he would arrive late. She put his food in a container and put it in the fridge before eating her own. Looking at his empty position, she frowned. Something wasn't right. She was paranoid but determined to find out. She checked his clothes while doing laundry, but what she found changed everything. Jenna Miller met David after wondering if she would find Mr. Right. She texted her best friend about meeting her future husband after their 2012 first date. He and she were smitten. A great love story began. She discovered her relationship wasn't a fairy tale. They engaged quickly. About a year after discovering they were pregnant, Miller gave birth to Delaney. It was her happiest time. She married her love a year later. But things went wrong. Miller remembered David's romantic Thanksgiving proposal. She was grateful for her most memorable holiday. She felt lucky. All that changed quickly. Marriage wasn't what she expected. Things changed from dreamlike to real. If you like my videos, don't forget to like or subscribe. Thanks in advance. She didn't remember her mom reading about Snow White or Cinderella doing the prince's laundry. She also had other issues. Miller, a small-town Indiana girl, had a big mouth. She always spoke her mind. She loved to provoke and had a wicked sense of humor, but it wasn't the outlet she needed. Another was. Miller was having a hard time dealing with the downsides of her marriage, so she created a blog called The Blunt Blonde to vent. I don't ever recall the prince in the fairytale having rough, cracked hands and crow's feet before he turns 30, she wrote. There were other warning signs. She resented her husband, which is never good. She hated raising their daughter alone. She was ready to explode because he wasn't sharing the parenting experience. She knew being a wife and mother wasn't easy, but she didn't expect it to be this complicated, especially since her husband was missing while she was at home. She felt stuck while he built a career and did other things she didn't know about. Her husband didn't comfort her. I don't recall the prince missing dinners because he was working overtime or going to bed shortly after he came home to his palace because he was so exhausted, she added on her blog. Not right. She felt it. She became suspicious after searching his laundry. She grabbed one of his shirts from the bed and examined it. She needed to understand her paranoia. She realized the truth then. She shook when she realized why her husband was always late. Leesburg was Miller's home. Though newly married, everything was going well. She wondered why he started coming home later. Was he getting bored? That he no longer liked his family? She suddenly got the answers she needed. Miller examined the clothes and wondered if she had missed the clues. She grew up in Indiana and joked that she made awkward situations and told bad jokes. Her sarcasm made her a great blogger. Her followers helped her in tough times. Her Twitter bio calls her the Blunt Blonde. I'm serious. I'm genuinely an unpleasant person and hate everyone equally, she wrote in her About Me section. Her blog is equally sarcastic. She seemed happy in her relationship. She even mentions her other languages in her blogs about section. I speak English and sarcasm. Her followers have read other shocking revelations. Her posts were controversial, and for good reason. Her blogs about section states, I'm a stay-at-home slave. She calls her 3-foot-tall daughter her workaholic boss. Her followers weren't ready for her to reveal her deep hurt, despite her sneaky, in-your-face humor. She had thousands of readers who awaited her next post. She talked about her husband and what she had learned one fateful day. Her writing silenced her followers. Miller didn't intend to write about her discovery, but it was too late. Miller's light-hearted life contrasted with her husband's childhood. His Swiss-German Amish community distrusted technology and lived simply. He never saw or knew about many things. She thought their backgrounds wouldn't matter. Was she wrong? Miller told her followers about an Amish habit she found odd. When I picked out ties for the guys, my husband carefully informed me from afar, they can only wear bow ties. Stared. Amish people cannot wear ties, he said slowly. Exploded. Her husband was adjusting better than she was, despite their differences. Miller was the opposite of her husband's Swiss-German Amish community, which shunned technology for a simpler life. She assumed he would change for her, so his background didn't matter. Before meeting her husband, Miller knew little about Amish life. All I really knew about them was that they made donuts that would slap your taste buds with happiness you've never experienced, she wrote on her blog. She also didn't know Amish husbands' trays. She wished she had realized more earlier. Sadly, it wasn't. Her husband's quirks amused her. You can take a man out of the Amish but, was a section of her blog dedicated to him. Well adjusted to his new English lifestyle, she said. She wasn't adjusting to marriage. Her husband worked long hours at an RV dealership and often arrived home late. Miller, a stay-at-home mom, fed her online fans. On her blog, she said her husband's absence left her conflicted and alone. She struggled without him, not realizing why until it was too late. After a difficult day, she wrote on her blog in 2015, "Sometimes he will come home after a long day at work, and I'll be waiting for him to walk in the door so that I can yell, 'You promised me you would be home at 5. As if he would rather work than spending time with our daughter and me, she wrote. She didn't realize she overreacted. I know I'm making him lose. He's hopeless. If he doesn't work late, we won't get the new furniture set I need, she wrote on her blog. If he works later, he comes home to a nagging wife desperate for his attention. It became clear while doing laundry. She folded the dryer clothes into 2 piles. Hers. Her husband's. Why were my clothes so fresh and clean? His were dirty and torn. I stopped folding and stood there thinking, she wrote. Then she realized. She had to put his dinner in the fridge if he didn't come home on time. He wasn't avoiding her. She felt shame because he worked hard to make her happy. Life-changing guilt. He gave more than I deserved. She wrote on her blog, "If I want something, he rarely says no." She noticed that her husband wore worn-out clothes every day while she wore new, expensive ones. She thought worst. I get spoiled with his labor, and he is okay with torn boxer briefs. I pretended he was out partying with his friends, but his laundry told a different story, she wrote. His never complaining made her sad. When he walks in the door, his heart is full, and our daughter runs for him excitedly yelling, "Darda." She realized she must change. Miller pledged to be a more equal partner after her epiphany. From now on, if she got angry because he was late, she would remember that he was sacrificing for his family. She advised her followers to think before accusing their husbands. She realized. Her husband sacrificed time with his daughter. She realized she was ignoring. Miller saw this whenever he was with their daughter. They loved each other. Like twins. He treasured every moment with his daughter because he knew they were few. Sure, I miss him and want to spend time with him throughout the week, but I have realized he is offering me the most beautiful form of love there is. He helps us. He works so his wife and daughter don't go without, even though there are times I'm sure he does, she said. She had more important advice for her readers. Miller's random observation helped her realize her husband's resentment was unfounded. She gave readers more great advice. If you have a hard-working man and you can't comprehend how much he loves you. Laundry. Her readers understood. Miller's blog post resonated with readers. She deeply impacted one follower. Amazing reminder. I felt terrible staying home with our daughters. The woman wrote, "This is an awesome perspective to carry, according to Top 5. Miller's posts aren't always rants. Real Blunt Blonde has many hilarious family posts about Miller. She writes extensively about her husband's Amish roots. As interest in the culture grows, her followers love these posts, but she wants to clarify one thing. Miller wrote, "I'm not Amish, but my husband is," about her husband. She described her first meeting with her husband's parents. She also corrected her Amish misperceptions. Her wicked sense of humor enjoys mocking her naivety. She offers excellent parenting advice. Miller also discusses motherhood with Delaney. In 2016, she had to deal with her daughter's rebellious attitude during the terrible twos. "I graduated at Toddlertown and majored in defeat," she wrote. Her clothes don't show how hard she works, but she's been through some tough times. Miller finds time to update her blog despite being a housewife and mother. She posts weekly witty and sarcastic comments about being married with children. She enjoys sharing her fun with her lovely daughter. Miller loves Halloween, especially dressing her daughter as a spider. They trick-or-treated and ate all day. She also loves Christmas. Miller also loves Christmas. Even though her husband David is always working, she can always count on him, or Santa, to come to town and make her and her daughter smile. Their family dynamic changed again soon after. David took a family vacation to Disneyland despite his busy schedule. Delaney met Cinderella there. The little girl soon realized she wasn't the only princess in her parents' castle. Miller announced twin pregnancies in February 2019. That meant she wouldn't get a break soon. She'd have plenty to blog about. She had twins in September 2019, including Molly, a girl. She resembled Delaney. Reese was their sweet little boy twin. Molly and Reese will keep the Millers busy. These parents need a break from feeding and diapering. Delaney, their oldest daughter, should help. What about watching her younger siblings? Delaney is enjoying her new siblings, and no sibling rivalry has emerged yet. Miller wrote on Facebook, "For those who have been following me for a while, well, you know Delaney, she's living her best life." No one expects Delaney to do everything for her parents or siblings. She's a child. She hugs and shrugs when a sibling fusses. Babies have no manual. This babysitter is clearly improvising. Not only her. Miller and her husband are still adjusting to twins. Double feedings, baths, cries, and trouble. They could only ride out the exhausting new situation with the family and do their best. Miller wants to rekindle her marriage on Valentine's Day after raising their children. On her Facebook page, Real Blunt Blonde, she joked about flirting with her husband by posting housework videos. A clean house, better? What's exactly? Miller posted a video on Facebook with the caption, "Let's not spread the coronavirus like it's GIF, and the hashtag #immaterial freaking out because she didn't think it was worth losing her cool. No need to panic if precautions are taken. To communicate, she wears gloves and a mask in the video. Hanging out with a new mom is one of her Real Blunt Blonde videos that covers all mom issues. She also mocks her need to appear in control. She must remain calm when disciplining her daughter in front of her new mom friend. Hanging out with a new mom is scarier than dating. It's a fact, she wrote. Miller's LinkedIn account shows she's run the Blunt Blonde blog for nearly 4.5 years, but the site appears to be down for the foreseeable future. She'll update her Instagram and Facebook followers. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.